This episode is brought to you by Boot Crew Media. Stay classy, New Orleans, Louisiana, from Boot Crew Media. And also, always, thank God for the greatest beverages of all time, Coors Pure and Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Could you go a week without these bad boys, Chase?
No, I'd start itching immediately.
They're so good. So y'all go down, y'all get yourself a 12-pack of each and have yourself a weekend.
So with the Coors Pure, that's more my weekday drink.
More the weekday drink?
Yeah, but when it Vizzy on a Saturday, Vizzy's. Start feeling bubble.
Saturdays for the boys with Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Yeah. And now, let's get ready to podcast. Welcome back to Sportsman's Paradise Podcast with your two anchors, Kent McGuire and Chase Carpenter. How you doing, Chase?
So it's still hard. I mean, it's not getting better, but I didn't think it would get better. Missing Joe. Haven't been able to turn on the TV because I scrolled through the guide and instinctively go to
True TV right away.
And then, of course, Impractical Jokers is on because it's on every single day.
God. Why couldn't Carbonara leave?
Should have been him.
Should have been him. Oh, fuck. But we have a very special episode today, everyone. We have my cousin Joel Spansel on, who works down in Guyana. Hello. And he went fishing. For y'all who don't know what Guyana is, y'all might be thinking, it's Guyana. No, it isn't.
That's slut.
Yeah. Don't you tell me what it is, because it is not that. And he went fishing in the Amazon, and we're going to learn and hear a little about that. Mm-hmm. But then we're going to learn about his future trip coming up, because apparently this one got cut short. But I haven't really talked to him about it. Yeah.
So a little backstory on the Amazon. I believe it's in South America, and it derived its name from Jeff Bezos and the website Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Yeah. So.
He said there are a ton of Prime people down there.
Yeah, so that's where they named it after
Amazon Prime. Yeah. All right, let's give him a call. Dear God,
do you think he saw Jeff Bezos? Like, what's the relation? I don't get it. That's where my head gets all webbed up.
What's going on?
Hey, Joel, can you hear him?
Yeah, I got y'all.
Nice. All right, perfect. Perfect. What up, Joel? You are live on the podcast as we speak. How you feeling?
I am doing good, man. Just ready for the Saints game this afternoon.
Who dat, baby?
Yeah, I think we're making the playoffs. It's lined up.
I hope so, man. It should be a good one.
We better beat the Falcons. They suck ass.
Huh? Yeah, but it's a rival game.
And we aren't that great.
I know.
We're inconsistent. But how do you say where you work, Joel? Is it Guyana?
Yeah, so I work in Guyana in South America. It's on the northeast side, and it's just south of Venezuela and then north of Suriname.
Oh, nice. Suriname.
It's a pretty cool spot. You actually have the Amazon rainforest is where we usually do our fishing, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. And then also, at first you started offshore, and he used to see crazy sea creatures and an unbelievable amount of mahi-mahi, huh?
Oh, yeah, man. So I'd go out there. I did 2 hitches out there, and we'd be out there for a month at a time. Mm-hmm. You're probably about 150 miles offshore.
Okay.
And, I mean, whenever I would walk out on deck, I swear you would see at least 50 mahi-mahi on the side of the ship every single time.
You ever bring
and
a
then
pole?
every once? No, so unfortunately they didn't let us fish on the rig that I was on, but I know there's been other people out there who've been lucky enough to be able to fish, and they catch, I mean, it's world-class fishing. You catch big old tuna, mahi-mahi. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And you'll see the tuna flashing up and everything when you're out on the deck too, but mostly mahi-mahi out there, which is pretty cool. And then we also have another thing that's cool to see is they have, obviously when we're drilling the wells, we have to have a ROV that goes down to the bottom of the ocean and mean, just imagine it's like a mile deep where we have these ROVs, and man, you'll see some crazy stuff. One time, I don't think anybody was able to identify it, but it was some crazy jellyfish thing that came floating across the screen. I'll have to get a picture of it and send it to y'all.
I think I still have it. I think I have that picture. It's awesome.
It's
and then he saw some like awesome sharks with like the curled tails that sit deep below, right?
Yeah, and then you got like octopus. They had a purple octopus on the wellhead one time, which was really cool. And then they have another fish. I forget. I think we called it a rat tail fish is what we thought it was, but I think there's an official name for it. But this thing was also, it's like prehistoric looking. I'll have to send some pictures into that too. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Different world down there.
Yeah, send us some of that. But now let's dive into
Amazon.
Your trip to the Amazon, going fishing, and what y'all had planned, and then it kind of got cut short. And I want to hear about the future plan after. But start us off on first how y'all got there and shit.
Yeah, so we were supposed to. So our first trip, we were planning to do like a 3-day camping trip up what's called the Essequivo River. So that's a larger river that feeds into the Atlantic right by Georgetown, which is the main city in Guyana. But unfortunately, when we were supposed to go, they were getting tons of rain. So the water level on the river had gotten pretty high, and the guide didn't feel like we would catch much, you know, because all the peacock bass and everything go into the
tributaries.
Yeah, exactly. And then the arapaima and that stuff, so generally when the water is shallow, the arapaima get trapped in these little ponds. But since the water level was so high, he's basically saying we'd have almost no chance of catching that. So since it was going to be a 3-day trip and he didn't think we'd catch much, he thought it'd be best to delay it for another time. We actually canceled that trip with him, and we still wanted to fish. We just didn't want to go all out. And we found a guy who's actually from Idaho.
Wow. No, Idaho.
Idaho, that's right. Oh, man. Yeah, so he's from Idaho, and he moved to Guyana like I think 5 or so years ago. So he's been living there for a while, and he just does whatever you want to do. But he does a lot of fishing on this river, which is called I guess it's a creek. It's called the Kanji Creek, which is it's a much easier trip. So we were able to do a day trip, and it was a pretty eventful day, man. I can start from the beginning and kind of walk y'all through it. But
let's do it.
I mean, if you've ever been with that,
how far is the drive from you to there?
Yeah, so we did about a 2-hour drive. So this is the funny part, right? So we got me and then 2 of my buddies who actually live there as expats. You know, we all are riding together, and we told the guide, just, you know, because driving there, we can't drive there. The driving is crazy. They pretty much don't abide by any of the traffic lights or anything. They just honk their horns and
I love that.
Run across the street in anticipation of the other car stopping. So we had to hire a car, and we let the guide do that. And so we had the guy pick us up at 4 a.m. and it's a 2-hour drive, and we wake up, you know, an hour early, getting ready to go, and it is torrentially downpouring. I mean, just storming, kind of like in Louisiana, but consistently hard for like an hour. So I'm like, shit, man, I don't think we're to be able to even go fishing. And we've got, you know, obviously we're prepared because we were planning on doing that 3-day fishing trip. And we each had 2 rods, one normal size, and then one big rod, because we were planning on catching big old catfish and the arapaima, right? So the catfish in the river that we are going to fish get up to like 200-300 pounds.
Jesus.
They have these red-tailed catfish and lau. So we had all this tackle, right? We have 6 poles. Actually, I think 7, because one of my buddies had an extra one. So our ride pulls up, and it's literally like a little Camry. Like it's not even a truck, nothing. So we, there's pretty much, we have to put 7 poles. We got them going over the driver's head, and like there's literally no room for any of our shit.
Oh,
but
God.
Thankfully we were able to jam the poles in. They were touching all the way in the back, all the way up to the front. It was just a little car. But
Love it.
the other thing is you got to deal with flooding there. So we're in this little
true.
low riding Camry.
That's pouring down rain.
I didn't think we were gonna-
Those roads can't be well paved
Holy
either.
packed.
Yeah, the roads they're okay, but they flood because it's actually like New Orleans there where they're below sea level and they have to pump the water out as well.
Okay.
It's probably one of the other few places in the world that's actually below sea level, and they're right on the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not a good combo. And as you can imagine, they don't have the best drainage system.
Like New Orleans.
But
Yeah.
although it might be better than New Orleans, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so we had to drive through like probably 1.5 foot of water for about 5 miles.
Holy balls.
And I thought we were going to flood the engine and be stuck, which would have really sucked to start the day. But anyways, we kept driving on, and thankfully we made it through that. And then...
Was it scarier than when we drove through the blizzard?
Yes and no. Yes, because it was definitely more dangerous. And for some reason, our guy, so it's 4 a.m, and our guy didn't have headlights. So we're also driving in the dark, right? And so I was pretty nervous for that, but at least I wasn't in control. Like when we were driving through that blizzard, at least I knew it was me. If anybody was going to do the damage, it would have been me. But it was pretty nerve-wracking in that damn blizzard. What was it, like 2 feet of snow before we started driving the damn minivan?
Yeah, with no chains next to a gorge.
Oh, man, that was rough.
But go on with yours.
Yeah, so then we got another thing they do is they start to, when Christmas time comes, they have a lot more people in the country because they're all coming back from wherever they live. So they have all these damn roadblocks. So we got stopped by one and they let us through right away. And then we got stopped again, and these Guyanese people, it was policemen, they get us out the car. They're asking us for our passports. We're like, we don't have we're just driving around. We're going to fish. We don't have our passports. Giving us hell for like 20 minutes. I'm like, Jesus, they're going to try to arrest us. About to go to jail in Guyana. It's going to be a nightmare.
Mr. Worst case scenario.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, they were pissed, too.
No, but yeah. Oh.
But thankfully, we have our own security there. So we had them on speed dial ready to go. But after like 20 minutes, they let us through. And then finally, we drive on a bumpy road for like 30 minutes. And we pull up to just this random river, the Kanji Creek. And our guide was there. And we got there at like 6 a.m. and it was amazing, man. They had, before we even got on the boat, we saw those scarlet macaws, those big parrot birds.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, so those were flying overhead, which was really cool.
Are they white or all different colors?
Yeah, they have different colors. So I've seen in Costa Rica, they have some green ones. They also have the blue and the red ones, but the ones that we saw were blue. So it's pretty cool.
That is
pretty much all blue. But yeah, so then we started off pretty early on the water, and we started closer so we were kind of by where the water empties into the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit saltier water. And for like the first 5 or 10 miles of the river, since you have that salty water, they actually have a ton of tarpon.
Whoa.
I know Chase, you're a big tarpon fisherman.
Yeah, well, I like them. I'm not that good, but I enjoy it. Let's just say that.
You're probably better than me. So we could, we were cruising up the river till he would say, till you see 3 of them hit on top of the water, because you'd see them all along the way, just kind of hidden.
And they're huge, though, huh? Probably bigger.
They can get pretty big. I don't know if they're as big as they are out in where is it, the Florida Keys, where you go for them. But he says the ones we were hooking were probably like, I guess like a foot long up to 2 feet. But they have some that get much bigger. But I think it's pretty rare.
Okay.
Gotcha. But anyway, so we started off throwing top waters at them, and my buddy had a few bites, but he could not set the hook on them.
Poor bastard. Hard mouths.
Yeah, man, they're hard to catch. And then we kept on going for them. We ended up switching some Yozuri minnows that swam like, I don't know, 3 to 5 feet below the top of the water. And
were you twitching it?
Yeah, I was twitching it pretty good. You got to work it really good in those waters because apparently the fish are really, really aggressive there. So like you got to work it real quick to get them going for it. But anyway, so I hook one that was pretty good size. He was probably like 1.5 feet, and I'm reeling him in, and he jumps out the water. And what do you think he did?
He popped off.
Yep.
He spit it out just like that. I was so pissed off because I knew it was a good one.
Oh, damn it.
Then
you saw it.
Right. I saw him jump. I mean, it was pretty sweet. He literally jumped like 2 feet out of water. So it was pretty badass to see him fly out like that. And then I hooked another. Okay. And it hit my lure so damn hard. It actually busted my fucking reel.
Oh
no! Brand new one?
So I had brought. I know, of course, it hit the shitty reel. So this was the one I used to use fishing with you when we go out in Hopedale and whatnot.
Oh shit!
Because I had two, so I could switch lures real quick.
Yep.
And of course, it hits on that one. And I'm trying to reel in, and it's not taking any line. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I didn't know what the deal was. I thought my drag was too loose, but it wasn't, it wasn't making any noise. So I try to fix the drag, nothing. So then I try to reel that one in with just my hands, and of course that one got off. I was pretty pissed about that.
That sounds like a wild. That sounds like mayhem, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good, but then. Unfortunately, I didn't catch one, but my buddy did catch a pretty good one.
And got it in the boat?
Yeah, he got it in the boat, which was nice. So then after we caught that one, we kept moving upriver. So it's pretty cool as you go upriver. Obviously the water, I guess the salinity of the water changes. So
it gets more
once
fresh.
You get far enough, yeah, exactly. So it gets fresher and fresher. And once you get farther up, then you start to get into the kind of piranha area, which was kind of cool.
And panthers and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. They have all kinds of wildlife out there, which is really, really cool. They actually have another bird. I feel like I was a birder out there, man. I was seeing all kinds of crazy birds. But they had this one that was called the Kanji Pheasant. It's actually the national bird of Guyana. And they say it's the direct descendant of the first bird in the world, which is pretty cool. And it looks prehistoric. It looks like,
what is it called?
It's called the Kanji, Canje pheasant. And it's got these crazy things on its head. I mean, it looks really prehistoric, like a Pokemon type character or something. Damn, so we saw a ton of those, saw some monkeys.
You see any cayman?
Yeah, I'll get to the Cayman part. That was the end of our day.
That bird is
but yeah, so we kept fishing, and we were hooking some pretty big piranha. I mean, these things get big. I'll send a picture in, and they actually fight.
Hard?
Yeah, they fight pretty damn hard, and they'll hit anything, man. I mean, and they mess up your lures. Like their teeth are sharp as hell.
Did you get to touch them?
Like saws. No, so I didn't try because actually one of my buddies who lives there that was with us had done a fishing trip probably like a month ago, and they had caught a bunch of piranhas, and one of his buddies was drinking, and he was like, oh, let me try to touch one of these teeth. So he put his finger in there, and it bit down on him and put a hole right through his fingernail and into to like the top of his finger.
Oh,
What an idiot.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how sharp it is, and his finger is all messed up from it. And you definitely don't want to get, you don't want to get too injured out in Guyana because it's not the best place to be with
especially
any
if you're
kind of
in
medical.
the rainforest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what kind of
good thing
boat? What kind of go on?
The good thing is the guide is a badass. He used to be an EMT in the U.S. and all kinds of crazy stories about things that have happened to him. And he still does some stuff in Guyana to help out. So I felt pretty safe with him out there because he's always, he knows what to do. Like my buddy was drunk and hooked me in the neck.
Oh, shit.
With a lure. Yeah, which was not ideal out there, right?
No.
So he had to push the hook through my neck and
then
cut the barb, so they could pull it back out.
How bad did that hurt? Like back in the neck?
It hurt pretty damn bad. But the good thing was that I was so much more relaxed with this guy on the boat because he knew what he was doing, right? He had told me one time he was helping some guy had OD'd, or they thought he was an OD. And so he went there, and it was like several times this has happened, but he tried to wake the guy up, and the guy had an arrow and literally stabbed it through his chest and out his back.
Holy shit.
And yeah, he had to like take care, like he was with the other paramedic, and he was like, yeah, dude, I thought I was going to die that day, but like he had to get rushed to the hospital and all this shit, and he survived. So I felt like just a little hook wouldn't be the end of me.
He put a whole arrow through him. What kind of boat does this guy have? Was it like a small little flatboat, or?
So it's funny. So actually, thankfully, it was a pretty. It was definitely a flatboat, and it was pretty big though. It was kind of like, I guess, about the length of yours, Kent, and then probably an extra 2 to 3 feet wider.
Oh, extra wide.
Is he working a tiller?
What's that?
Is he working a tiller?
I don't know.
Motor, like where he holds onto the motor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what he's running.
Yeah, that's what I see in all the.
Which is pretty sweet. But he's got it, he's always got to be back there. But yeah, the boat ran great, man. We had a lot of room, and which is one of the pluses of going with this guy, because if we go far up the river with what's called the Amerindians, they're basically like the native people of Guyana.
Uh-huh.
They basically are fishing off of canoes. So you've got like a motor on the back and basically the width of a canoe. So there's not much room to move around,
Yeah.
But
I would fall in the water throwing those big top water.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work throwing those top waters too.
Yeah.
But
it makes your hands tired.
Yeah. But then so back to the fishing. So we were hooking the piranha are pretty I mean, once you're on them. It's kind of like catching, they don't fight like perch, but it's like catching them, you throw it out and they're going to hit pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we caught a number of piranha, and then after that, we had been day drinking all day, so we were just about ready to do some cat fishing and see if we could catch a big old cat. But where we were in the river, since it's a smaller river, they're not quite as big. So the guide actually, most people don't, I guess he made it sound like don't want to go cat fishing. They usually want to try to catch the peacock bass and stuff, which we did try for that, but we didn't have any luck. But I think on the next trip, since we'll have 2 days, we'll be able to get further upriver and then be able to catch the big old peacock bass.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, so that should be sweet. They're supposed to be pretty aggressive out there since there's a lot of competition for, food and whatnot.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we set up. Yeah, we set up shop and just cast it out. We actually cut up the tarpon that we had caught because the guy was saying those are like the worst smelling fish.
Okay.
And casted those out and let them sit and just hung out for a little while. And I caught a nice, it wasn't too big. It was probably like, I don't know, 3 to 5 pounds, but it's a badass catfish. It's called a tiger catfish. It's got these crazy black, and it's like a silver fish with these black wiggly lines around it, which is really, really cool. It's a pretty fish. The guy said he's never caught one out there, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
To catch one of the first ones that he's seen out there, at least. So that was kind of the end of our fishing day, but we caught a lot of that. We caught the tarpon, the piranha, and the tiger catfish. And there was another fish. It was a little one, but I think they called it a bicuda. It looks like a barracuda, but this one was a smaller one, but it had those razor sharp teeth.
Big eyes.
Yeah, pretty big eyes. So it was a cool fish, but it was tiny. I think he caught like a baby one.
Y'all keep any to eat? Like piranha?
We kept the piranha. The piranha the piranha tastes delicious. Cool. But the problem is they have so many damn bones. And they're not the bones that, like are real hard. But they're still a pain in the ass to deal with. But we did make fish tacos with them, which is pretty damn good.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So yeah, after that, it was a crazy deal. I mean, we got out there at 6 a.m., right? And then fished all day, and then we did the add-on for a Cayman hunt.
Whoa.
Which was pretty sweet. So once the sun set, we just cruised along the river and we all had headlamps, and he had a huge flashlight looking for Cayman. And man, we were cruising for a little while, and you see all kinds of shit, all kinds of eyes everywhere, birds and all kinds of shit. It was crazy owl we saw. And
that was probably awesome.
So they have two types of Cayman. They have the speckled Cayman, which is like a more, it's not as aggressive and it doesn't get quite as big.
A little docile one.
Yeah, exactly. And he usually, that's the ones you see most commonly out there. So we were thinking we were going to come across that, but they also have another type of Cayman, which is the black Cayman.
Yes.
And this one is the one that gets really big. I think he said it gets up to like 15 or 16-ish feet, the grown adult one. So,
and y'all saw one?
Yeah, so we didn't know what we'd come across, and sure enough, we're cruising along. We see the eyes to this one, and he's got this little setup where he it's basically just a thin 1.5 inch diameter PVC pipe with a rope, and then the circle tied at the end. And so we got the light on this one, and it's looking directly at us. And usually they'll shoot off, but this one didn't shoot off because it was the black Cayman. So they basically are a lot more aggressive.
He wants to mess you up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So he just stood there, staring at us, didn't try to move or anything. So we pulled right up on it. He put the thing around it, and sure enough, hooks the thing. And then we throw it. He throws it in the boat, jumps on it, and this thing is just hissing and shit. I mean, it is pissed off. Totally pissed off.
This guy's nuts.
Tie it up.
Oh, yeah.
Kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my buddy, he gives the pole to my buddy. My buddy's holding it, and this dude just jumps on it, on its back, and pins its mouth down, and then duct tapes the mouth. That way, he doesn't want to kill him. He's like he's not gonna.
So y'all just go wrestle Caymans.
Yeah, throws it in the boat. I mean, it was nuts, and this thing was pissed off, but it was badass, man. So it was probably like probably 4-ish feet.
That's
pretty
cool.
Good size.
Y'all pay this man to wrestle a Cayman in front of you in his boat.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it's cheap, man. For the whole day of fishing, plus the Cayman hunt, he only charges I think it was $125.
What?
Each? Full day of fishing.
Each?
Yeah, each.
Wow. And I call him every single day.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch you wrestle Cayman.
Right. And I mean, you see so much shit out there. It was a badass trip. So that was that was our day trip, which was pretty sweet. So we had a good time, even though we didn't catch the peacock bass, but we'll go back again to get onto them. But I'll be going down. I actually fly out on Tuesday to go back down for another month, and then I'm going to stay extra again to do another trip.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome.
That's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait till y'all do that. And on that one, y'all are going. It's gonna be try to be 3 days camping, fishing, jaguar hunting.
Jaguar hunting?
I wish no jaguar hunting.
When you're
but
camping, you're jaguar hunting because it's hunting you. So.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what one of the guides said. He basically, I think he said he had like something crazy, like 400 goats out at his farm. And now he's only got like 30 something because there's so many jaguars out there.
Damn. God. That's
it's pretty nuts. Yeah. But they do the one we were supposed to do with that guy, we were supposed to do, we were going to do like hunting at night and also bow fishing and stuff, which would have been pretty cool.
Bow fishing, seeing everything in the water would be awesome over there.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get with him at some point. But next time I go down, I'll be with the same guy. He was really cool and knew what he was doing. We'll do 3 days basically of fishing. And we hadn't figured out which river yet. The rainy season's still going on, but I'm guessing by the time
your 3 weeks or 4 weeks are up, then maybe you'll be
going. Yeah, we'll be going like February 18th. So hopefully by that time the river gets a little bit lower. They have a bunch of different options though. The rivers out there, man, they're about the size. The ones you see are about the size of the Mississippi in width, and then you've just got rainforest around it, so you can imagine how big those fish get out there. But there's probably 3 different rivers we might go on, so we'll definitely follow up with another report after that.
Huge.
After that next trip.
Let's go. I want you to have to go and cut down trees and get into small little ponds.
Yes.
I know. How badass would that be?
So
I'm hoping.
sick.
I'm hoping if I stay around in Guyana and don't get moved back to Houston, that I will. We're planning a big trip in over Easter weekend. We do like 4 nights, 5 days of fishing, and that would be. We'd actually take a small plane, like a 6-seater plane, way up into the jungle, and that's where you catch the real, like the river monsters.
Yeah, Jeremy Wade. Yes. You got to do that.
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
You got to do that. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
catch like a 6-7 foot arapaima.
Yeah,
exactly, dude. They've got some crazy fish out there. The arapaima. The lau, which is a catfish, that one gets up to 400 pounds. And then the peacock bass, right? Those that's where you catch the monster peacocks. Yeah, and they fight like hell. From what I've heard, there's nothing quite like a peacock bass fight. And they also have another fish that's really cool, is the payara, which is basically, they call it the vampire fish because it's got 2 teeth that are like 6 inches long.
Yeah,
Jeremy Wade caught one of those bad boys.
And then what's that other cool fish they have there? It's like the silver one that you see at like Chinese restaurants. Y'all know what I'm talking about, though? No. And they have like the lip that comes up.
I'm not sure.
It's a cool one.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff, man. I think they have like the most diverse species of fish in these rivers out here. It's pretty amazing, and they're pretty. A lot of people. The cool thing about Guyana is it's not really on the radar of a lot of people. When most people go fishing for these types of fish, they go to Brazil, and in Guyana, it's just as good a fishing, but it's not. I don't know if Brazil's overfished, but I can tell you for sure that Guyana is not once you get up near the headwaters of these rivers.
God, that's awesome. Did y'all see anyone while y'all were out there? Mostly, I guess you were only out there for a day, but it was mostly just y'all out out in the middle.
Yeah, it was pretty much us out there. We only saw like one other boat. They actually have houses, not many, but just kind of houses dispersed out along the river. And the only way to get to them is by boat. So they do have some people that live out there. I mean, it's pretty damn remote, but yeah, not too many people out there.
That is sick. I'm jealous. That's going to be so awesome. So you go back Tuesday, and then you're staying extra, going on this sweet trip, and then I think we're going to need you to come back on, Joel.
You'll be our Amazon.
Absolutely. Hopefully this time I'll catch even more fish and have some good reporting back to do.
Perfect, and get some good pictures for us.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Maybe get your buddy to take it because your camera looks like a potato.
Oh man. It's the best fun out there, man.
He loves it. All right. Well, we'll let you run, Joel. Great seeing you this weekend, and I'm excited to hear about it. And call me whenever you want.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.
Will do. Later, brother.
Later.
All right.
Oh,
later.
send me some pictures.
Yeah, what's that?
Send me some pictures.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures. I'll send some of the piranha, the catfish. I'll send some of the Cayman and the what else did we see?
Any bird pics?
Oh yeah, I do have. I couldn't get a good one of the Kanji pheasant, but I have a cool one of this owl. I can also send one other, which is of the. It's not any fishing stuff, but it's called Kaicher Falls. It's the tallest single drop waterfall in the world. It's like 770 feet tall.
Nice. Send that.
It's pretty
that
cool.
sounds awesome.
Wait, monster of a waterfall.
In the world, you said?
The tallest single drop in the world.
Damn.
They have Kaicher Falls is that. Now Angels Falls is much taller, but it's got multiple drops. But when you see the picture of this thing, I mean, it's nuts. It puts. I mean, when I went to Iceland and all that, it put all those waterfalls to shame, and like Yosemite Falls and all those. I mean, it's got this thing just was like holy shit when you see it.
It's just freaking massive.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. But yeah, I'll send y'all some pictures.
Good.
Yeah, it's about the only good thing is the jungle parts, but
yeah. Sounds
anyways, but all right, man.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yes, you too. And Joel, always remember, get yourself a Coors Pure and a Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Yes. You beast.
Oh.
You beast.
Oh, I will. You know I will.
All right, perfect. Later, tell the family hello.
All right, later.
Bye, base. And that was Joel Spansel. That is super cool trip. And then we need to wrap it up because we got Mike B hanging out. If y'all haven't listened, go listen to Mike Bergeron's show. And who dat say they gonna beat them Saints and tight lines. And by the way, me and Chase are wearing wife beaters for the rest of our time filming. So let's do it. Let's do it. You want to see these traps? Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh. All right, later.